Next is a Regent Street fire cleanup. I'm not sure if that's to Director Rao.
Thanks, Your Worship. So, as everybody knows, there was a fire at the former, school board office on Regent Street. There's a mess there left up. I'm not sure the details of, with the owner and the property or anything like that, but we were asked to issue a tender to see, get that cleaned up. I mean, our thoughts were it was around 100 grand to clean that up, or 90 grand, I guess we estimated. We had two bidders, 317 and 398. You heard tonight earlier about prices going up and things like that. This time of year, I know all the construction companies are busy. You can see that, missing some local companies on there that didn't bid. They're just too busy. So, unfortunately, the price is up quite a bit, more than we expected. But if they want that cleaned up, that's, I guess, the price to clean it up. If anybody has any questions, I guess.
Yep, Councillor Ross Robinson.
Thank you, Worship. That's a little steep. So is this, would this come under the same rules of play as an unsightly file, where if they don't pay for it, the government can chase them for the money? Or is this a cleanup through the fire department that we have the responsibility to clean it up, and then we can go after them for their responsibility to clean up their mess through either their own work or their insurance? Like, how? I don't understand.
It is an unsightly file, and we will look to recoup the cost from the province. By all indications, the owners might not even be in the country anymore, certainly not available. And in spite of the multiple assurances they gave to the fire chief, they would attend to cleaning it up. That didn't happen. The Fire Prevention Act, or one of those pieces of legislation, does give us the authority to clean up. It does not give us the authority to collect that money from the owner. So we have gone down the road of unsightly, and we're going to look to collect from the province as soon as demolition is done and reasonable efforts are made to obtain funds from the owner.
So follow up, if I may.
Yep.
So seeing that we have some other unsightly files that are expensive or pricey, are we pushing the envelope here to not get our money back because we have so many expensive files? Could we go back out to tender again? Could we decline this because it's so far over the estimate?
Councillor Ross Robinson. Typically, if it's over, we would look at, change the scope of work and things like that. But it was a project. I mean, it's cleaning it up. It's pretty difficult to cancel it and go back out for whether it change the scope of work. I mean, more of a legal thing there. Maybe
I guess it comes down to two factors. Number one, do we have a reasonable belief if we left this for a while that the price would come down? And number two, is it worth to risk what we've considered a danger for any amount of time, hoping the price comes down? And this one is tougher than some of the other ones because, frankly, this one poses a real public danger due to location and access to that site by, children especially. So.
Yeah, I'll just quickly follow up, and then I'll go to Councillor Johnson from the chair. But I want just to clarify, effectively, this is or should be looked at this point as an unsightly premises file, the same way that all of the other unsightly premises files come forward to us. Yeah. So in that regard, it's a measure of discomfort for sure, because we have asked to do more of these, and that is happening, and that requires the province to reimburse more. I'll certainly follow up on my end with the MLA Conroy to make her aware and flag any concerns, because I would share the same thing. I certainly don't want to end up on the hook for this at this level, but understanding it's the same process as the other ones, and that is the understanding that they will reimburse us. I'll reach out to the MLA to confirm that, but I'll support moving forward at this time under the assumption that it will reimburse us, and hope to get that clarification from her too. Councillor Johnston.
Thank you, Your Worship. I do appreciate the concerns expressed about the fiscal ramifications of cleaning this up. But the reality is, in Regent Street, the former town of Newcastle, we have a god-awful mess. Not only is it unsightly, but it is unsafe. It is a public hazard. I have had residents of Regent Street, Prince Place, the surrounding neighborhood, Campbell Street, contact me with concerns of not only the aesthetics of their neighborhood, but public safety. There were people going in that massive pile of rubble with their hoods up, presumably searching for copper or other valuables in the junk, that were scaring people in the neighborhood, causing them to be intimidated. That has since ceased, but nonetheless, as the manager's already alluded to, there are families in the area. I do believe there is some sort of barrier around that large pile of rubble, but nonetheless, it is still sitting there. It is not only unsightly, but it is unsafe. I don't believe, regardless of the revenue source, we seek out to help, and I do hope, in terms of the mayor's comments, that we do find some support with the province or the owner to come good in cleaning up their own building. Regardless, that has to be addressed, and it has to be addressed soon. It's been too long already. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor. Councillor Harris.
Yeah, thank you, Your Worship. Myself, like Councillor Johnson, I have received a few calls from citizens in that area, also, members from the St. John United Church, and they want that cleaned up. I mean, they lost a fence because of it right in their graveyard, and it's it is an unsightly thing to look at outside a church or window, I suppose, and see that. So it's unsightly. We're always on the hook for unsightly. We never know if we're getting our money back anyway. Every year we have to do so many unsightly, and obviously we found out now if the owner does not have insurance, other buildings around the city may be the same way, that we may have to pay for unsightly if there's ever another fire again. So, it's got to be cleaned up. It's long enough now. It's been a few months, and unfortunately, this is the situation we're at. But yeah, I would hopefully this gets moved up tonight.
To follow up, Councillor Harris, or I guess this might be to Director Rao on the fence. Would replacing the fence be part of the remediation work?
To Your Worship, the remediation work includes the cleanup, but we can add it in their contract, or we can get it repaired by someone else. I mean, that's the easier part than cleaning it up, I think.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, it would be nice to see it fully remediated, including, the fence that separates the graveyard. We want to be respectful, I think, of graveyards for sure. Councillor Duplessis.
Thank you, Worship. I guess my question is, what prevents us from doing some of these jobs internally, using our own labor and our own equipment to clean up this one in particular, if we can stay focused on it?
Councillor Duplessis. This building in particular was fire damage. It has to go to proper landfill. That's Allerville. I'm hearing that there may be another one in a closer vicinity opening up soon, but regardless, the trucking needs to go quite far. Our own internal public works trucks aren't really designed to haul those distances per se, and the cost would be, quite a bit. The trucks that they use are larger trucks and get that savings, and our equipment isn't that large enough to do that. We can handle small cleanups, but this is a pretty large one that needs some large equipment. Thanks.
Good question, though. Councillor King.
Thank you, Your Worship. I was up there the other day. I had a look at that, and it was brought up here tonight. And there is a safety issue, like Councillor Johnson mentioned, and I think we should get it cleaned up, and hopefully we can get the money back from government or whoever. We should get it cleaned up. Looks terrible.
Thank you. Oh, Councillor Duplessis.
Follow up, and just to follow up to that question, is I appreciate the answer, but does $378,000 buy us a truck? you know, if this is, it seems ongoing, it seems like every couple months we're into a $500,000 kind of cleanup. And I'm just wondering if like, is there an internal response? We did paving before and that was traditionally contracted. I just want to dig at that a little bit more.
Couple of things with this, Councillor. So it wasn't declared that, you know, some case history, we've talked about this before. We didn't put in there that you can bid against our own internal forces, you know, kind of makes the tender a little invalid that way. You know, you can't really say, oh, there's too much money, we're gonna do it ourselves now, when you didn't declare that through the tender. We've been into that before. I mean, you know, and this time of year too as well, you know, Public Works is busy plowing snow. That's what equipment's designed for. You know, buy one truck. You know, there's still a lot of other loaders. We have loaders, you know, maybe be used, but the large excavator's gonna be used to clean that up and things like that. It's just, you know, I think that one's pretty large. It's way above our regular, we're maintenance instead of large construction jobs is what I would say.
So seeing no further questions or comments at this time, I'll ask if there is a person willing to make a motion to send it up. Councillor Ross Robinson, seconded by Councillor Harris. On the question, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed?